top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assures to improve tax administration and to push for digitalization to help businesses in the country.
The Muntinlupa Regional Trial Court denies the petition for bail by former Senator Laila de Lima.
Some local government units in Albay may not have sufficient funds to meet the needs of affected residents as they brace for possible eruption of Mayon Volcano.
And thousands of people were affected after a major dam collapse caused massive flooding in southern Ukraine.
Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, the 7th of June, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harding Delgado.
First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has promised Filipino-Chinese businessmen that his administration is working towards better tax administration to help businesses in the country flourish. Nel Maribuhok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said his government would support the healthy relationship of the Filipino-Chinese community, noting how this became beneficial at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. During his speech at the oath-taking of the Federation of the Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry new officers in Malacanang, PBBM assured that his administration will continue to support the mutual beneficial partnership between the Federation and the national government. The chief executive vowed to continue efforts to improve the business climate and foster ease and efficiency in doing business.
We are now exerting effort to provide and improve our tax administration and fiscal incentive systems, amongst other strategic interventions. We are also streamlining existing regulatory mechanisms through expedited and integrated processes and digitalization of key government services.
The President vowed to continue listening to the concerns of the business sector.
Cognizant of the concerns of the sector, we will of course continue to listen and exert efforts to improve business climate and foster ease and efficiency of doing business.
PBBM emphasized his administration's policy of maintaining critical partners when it comes to the transformation of the Philippine economy. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The first trilateral maritime exercise between the Philippine Coast Guard and its counterparts in the U.S. and Japan has ended today, June 7. In the 7-day exercise that began on June 1, more than 400 Coast Guard personnel from 3 countries participated. It aimed to strengthen the interoperability of the 3 countries through communication exercises, photo exercises, maneuvering drills, maritime law enforcement, search and rescue, and passing exercises. The PCG hopes to conduct more training like this in the coming years. In addition to its participation in the training, the PCG would like to thank the Coast Guard of the United States and Japan for their assistance in responding to oil spills in Oriental Mindoro.
Malaki talaga yung pangailangan ng isang exercise katulad ito sapagkat natutuon yung pansin doon sa shared responsibility na i-advance yung professional skills, yung knowledge ng mga participants para po ma-enhance yung kanilang interoperability pagdating po sa larangan ng maritime safety at maritime security. Pinaabot din po ni Admiral Abo na hindi lamang dito sa exercise na to nagpapasalamat ang Philippine Coast Guard, kundi din po yung tulong ng Japan Coast Guard at ng Philippine Coast Guard dun sa oil spill response sa Mindoro.
Meanwhile, the Muntinlupa Regional Trial Court, or RTC Branch 256, denied the petition for bail by former Senator Laila de Lima. The court said that based on the testimonies previously presented by the prosecution, the evidence of guilt of those accused is strong. Hence, de Lima will stay in the detention cell while the trial of her remaining drug case continues. The next trial is scheduled for June 19, 2023, where the prosecution is set to present their new witnesses. Meanwhile, de Lima's legal counsel said that they will give an official statement on the matter.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, said that it will coordinate with the Department of Agriculture regarding the DSWD's food stamp program. Dante Amento tells us why.
The Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, will meet with the Department of Agriculture, or DA, regarding the food stamp program that will be launched next month. Secretary Rex Gatchalian said that through the food stamp program of the agency, they will help local farmers market their products, especially those with excess supplies, to avoid wastage.
With this program, mahuhubog natin rin na makakatulong tayo na yung wastage from our farmlands hindi tatapon lang.
The DSWD will coordinate with DA to identify regions or areas with excessive production of agricultural products. Instead of throwing these products away, they can be sold in different Kadiwa stores, agri-co-ops, and accredited stores or retailers authorized by the DSWD. Food stamp program beneficiaries can purchase these products using their food credits with the use of electronic tap cards.
Later on, our beneficiaries can be encouraged to buy those kasi food inputs ang binibigay mo. So let's say may shortage kunwari sa isang klaseng produkto pero within that food group sobra naman sa isang produkto. We can always encourage our beneficiaries through their tap cards, through their beneficiary cards to buy what is in excess.
Each beneficiary under the food stamp program will receive 3,000 worth of food credits per month.
Alam natin na maraming mga magsasaka natin lagi na lang yun napapaulat na o minsan excess yung tomato, walang bumibili. Nung isang araw, squash, walang bumibili.
The pilot run of the program will begin next month with 3,000 initial beneficiaries from selected areas in the country. The government aims to eliminate food poverty among Filipinos by 2027. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
In other news, Tropical Storm Chedeng is currently moving at an almost stationary pace located 1,150 kilometers east of southeastern Luzon as of 4 p.m. today. It is packing maximum sustained winds of 85 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 105 kilometers per hour. Based on the forecast from the State Weather Bureau Pag-asa, Chedeng is less likely to make landfall in any part of the country. Over the next 3 to 5 days, it is not expected to directly affect the Philippines. However, it may enhance a southwest monsoon in the coming days. Meanwhile, Palawan will experience scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. Metro Manila and the rest of the country will experience isolated rain showers and thunderstorms.
Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, Secretary Rex Gatchalian has revealed that they have prepositioned relief goods for Bicol region. 100,000 relief goods are now ready in storage, and they will be distributed to residents who may be affected by the eruption of Mount Mayon. The DSWD assures that they will immediately provide additional support to the local government units, or LGUs, in the region if necessary. However, it is the primary responsibility of the LGUs to assist their constituents.
We assure him that in the entire region, no? Kasi pag pumutok naman ng bulkan, hindi lang isang probinsya ang tatamaan eh. It's the perimeter. We have around 100,000 pre-positioned goods in Bicol alone. And then iba pa yung para sa Taal, that's another 100,000. And we continue to stockpile and make sure na pagka may mangyari, we are ready to augment the local government's efforts.
And foreign news abroad, a major dam collapse in southern Ukraine has triggered widespread flooding, endangering crops and drinking water supplies. Moscow and Kyiv trade blame amidst urgent evacuations and mounting concerns over the ecological disaster. Joselito Liquido will tell us the details live. Yes, Joselito, good evening.
Good evening, Elsie. The Kakhovka Dam and Hydroelectric Power Station located in the Moscow-controlled Dnieper River area, which is a major dam in the southern Ukraine, collapsed, resulting in a severe flooding in the nearby villages and sparking a blame game between Moscow and Kiev. Ukraine accused the dam of being blown up by Russian forces, while Russian officials blamed Ukrainian bombardment in the contested region. The conflicting claims made it difficult to ascertain the truth behind the dam's destruction. The catastrophic event was described by the Russian and Ukrainian government as an ecological disaster and a terrorist act. The flooding prompted evacuation using trains and buses by Ukrainian and Russian authorities. It was estimated that at least 25,000 people in Russian-controlled areas and 17,000 in Ukrainian-held territory are in need of evacuation. Additionally, concerns were raised about the availability of drinking water. However, no deaths or injuries were reported from both sides. The incident added a new dimension to the ongoing conflict, although the motive for destroying the dam remained unclear. Experts stated that the global consequences of the tragedy included a surge in wheat prices and potential crop destruction. Meanwhile, the collapse of the dam also had an impact in the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, as the reservoir supplying water to the plant has been depleted. However, no immediate safety risks were reported. Experts also added that this incident highlighted the broader repercussions of the war between Russia and Ukraine, showcasing significant consequences beyond the military aspect. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Joselito Liquido, reporting live from Malaysia. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Elsie. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. The newly appointed Secretary of National Defense, Attorney Gilbert Teodoro Jr., is seeking more funds for the DNT capital outlay and the Armed Forces of the Philippines modernization programs. Secretary Teodoro stated that they cannot achieve their goals without sufficient capital outlay. He expressed his intention to continue lobbying for additional funds in Congress. Regarding the AFP modernization program, Secretary Teodoro emphasized that they will ensure that the assets to be purchased are both affordable and sustainable.
Kailangan kasi i-build up din namin ang capabilities namin dito sa department. Nakita nyo, ang aming opisina napakaliit. Iilan lang ang empleyado dito, 400 lang. Ang minamanage natin na stakeholders dito ay aabot na ng milyon. Paano ang manager to client ratio? Masyadong malaki, no? At kailangan din mangakit tayo ng mga kabataan, magpaaral tayo ng ating mga empleyado, mga sundalo at civil service employees to get the best educational opportunities as possible.
A minority senator has reiterated her call to ensure protection and equality among the LGBTQIA+ community. This as a Senate leader sees no urgency in passing the sexual orientation, gender identity or expression or sex characteristics or SOGI-SC bill. Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
Senate Majority Leader and Senate Officer in Charge Joel Villanueva sees no urgency in passing the sexual orientation, gender identity or expression or sex characteristics or SOGI-SC bill. When asked by the media on the status of the bill, Villanueva said on Tuesday that the measure is not a priority and there are other bills to be prioritized once the second regular session of 19th Congress opens next month.
There are members of the Committee on Rules who had given us letters and reservations. So it's still there as well as some other measures. So again, I don't see any urgency for that particular measure.
But Senate Deputy Minority Leader Risa Hontiveros, a main proponent of the measure, calls it sheer numbness to say that the SOGIE Equality Bill is not urgent. The opposition senator expects that the proposed measure will be allowed to go through the proper process, as she questioned the supposed blocking of the bill to hurdle the Senate. Hontiveros also noted that the bill has been languishing in Congress for over 2 decades, and the need to give protection to members of LGBTQIA+ community against discrimination. Reacting to Hontiveros' remarks, Villanueva emphasizes that he is not against giving the community equal protection. That is why he says he is pushing for a holistic and inclusive anti-discrimination bill. It was in December 2022 when the bill was approved by the Senate Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality, chaired by Hontiveros, after the committee report secured 19 votes from its members. However, in February this year, the bill was sent back to the committee level under the Senate Committee on Rules headed by Villanueva, saying that the bill needs further study following oppositions from various religious groups. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God. The director of Marina's Legal Services refused to comment on the complaints filed against their personnel because they have not received a copy of it yet. The PCG will also wait to get a copy of the complaints from the Department of Justice before responding to the issues. According to PCG spokesman Rear Admiral Armand Balino, they have conducted an investigation into the sinking of MT Princess Empress, and they have given the results to the Department of Transportation. As a result, some of their personnel are suspended. According to PCG, as a co-equal agency of Marina, they only accepted the documents given to them by the shipping company through its agent and crew. In addition to the Certificate of Public Convenience or CPC, other documents are necessary to allow a ship to sail.
Well, nirespeto po namin yung desisyon ng DOJ, pero hihintayin namin yung official document para makapag-comment kami properly dun sa issues. Kasi meron tayong presumption of regularity. So kami naman ay ginawa lang namin yung dapat gawin under the circumstances.
The Department of Trade and Industry is committed to helping overseas Filipino workers start their own businesses and to put an end to the cycle of working abroad. Janice Inhente will tell us why.
As the Department of Migrant Workers or DMW aggressively pushes for Filipino workers abroad to have a stable income in the country should they decide to return home for good, the Department of Trade and Industry or DTI has agreed to help the DMW in training OFWs to set up their own businesses. During the 28th Migrant Workers Day commemoration, DMW and DTI signed an agreement to assist and provide guidance to OFWs through business training and mentorship programs. Based on the agreement, DTI will assist in the business registration process for OFWs, provide training and development programs, offer financial literacy training courses, include OFWs products and services in DTI trade fairs, and facilitate linkages between OFWs companies, products and services with large companies and government agencies to improve market access and promotions.
Bago namin mabigyan ng mga financial assistance for livelihood, they can look for mentors and also get advice kung paano ba mag-put up ng business, ano ba dapat hanapin. Lagi natin naririnig, location. So tama ba yung lugar nila for a small sari-sari store, for example. So parang in preparation for getting assistance from the DMW, they now have options to prepare themselves.
We have in each of the provinces of the country a negotiation center which will be the venue for supporting OFWs who are mostly from the regions of the country. Kadalasan ang binibigay namin training at mentorship. Ngayon, yung actual work na para mag-recruit ng mga tao, bibigyan ng guidance. Pero ang gagawa nun dapat yung mismo papasok sa negosyo para alam niya.
Additionally, in partnership with the Ateneo de Manila University, the DMW opens opportunities for OFWs and their families to receive training in leadership, social entrepreneurship, financial literacy, among others.
It's an alternative learning system and via Zoom, and kami ang nag-organize in behalf of Ateneo, and it's free of charge to the OFWs.
Ang DTI, nakipag-ugnayan kami sa mga iba't ibang universidad kasi kailangan namin sila sa pag-share ng technology.
Janice Enhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Energy unveils e-buses and charging stations to promote the e-vehicle industry, which aims to reduce the country's dependence on volatile supplies and prices of fossil fuels in the international market. JP Nunez will tell us why.
2 units of fully electric buses were inaugurated by the Department of Energy or DOE early this morning, June 7. These buses will initially be used by the employees of the department as their shuttle. However, the department will also conduct a study to determine if the e-buses could be efficiently utilized for public transportation. Energy Secretary Rafael Lotilla stated that the government aims to promote e-vehicles as they emit fewer greenhouse gases. Additionally, through this initiative, the automotive industry will no longer need to depend on the supply of energy from fossil fuels.
We hope that therefore our dependence on fossil fuels will be reduced, and the electric consumption of the country from electric vehicles will also increase with the increased use of renewable energy in the country.
The company supplying the e-buses is confident that their units can be used even on steep roads. Based on their study, the e-bus can run up to 200 kilometers on a full battery, and its charging time from 0 to 100% will take less than 3 hours.
Power-wise, electric vehicles are more powerful than ICE. It basically has one motor or paano ko ba explain? Yung technology ng electric vehicles, meron siyang magnet. So there's 2 magnets, and basically the magnet, when you turn on a magnet, it repels on each other. So imagine mo na nag-on off siya ng mabilis. Electric vehicles are more powerful, especially going uphill, and that's going to be very useful.
Apart from the e-buses, the DOE also inaugurated an electric vehicle charging station at their motor pool in Taguig City. Secretary Lotilla expressed hope that they will build more charging stations across the country to encourage vehicle owners to shift to electric vehicles. The department is actively exploring ways to develop more renewable sources of energy to ensure the stability of the electric vehicle industry. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A devastating earthquake has struck the western region of Haiti, leading to the loss of at least 4 lives and leaving over several dozen injured. This has caused heightened concerns for the vulnerable nation as the country's resilience is once again tested in the face of the earthquake. Ryuji Sasaki tells us why live. Good evening, Ryuji.
Good evening, Elsie. On Tuesday morning, June 6, a shallow 4.9 magnitude earthquake struck the Grandans department, approximately 300 kilometers west of the capital city, Port-au-Prince, with a shallow depth of 10 kilometers according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Currently, 4 fatalities have been confirmed. The victims were from the same family who tragically lost their lives when their house collapsed. 36 individuals were reported to be injured, while the search for potential additional casualties is still ongoing. The earthquake struck amidst the aftermath of heavy rainfall and flooding, which has already claimed the lives of at least 42 individuals and displaced many others in recent days. In response to the earthquake, the Haitian Red Cross has deployed over 30 volunteer rescuers and emphasized the challenging circumstances, noting the preceding devastating floods. Haiti's acting humanitarian coordinator Jean-Martin Bauer highlights the vulnerability of the Haitian population in this critical time, as the country's resilience is being tested due to the aftermath of this earthquake amid an already challenging humanitarian landscape. Meanwhile, Haiti further struggles to meet the demands of its citizens, with approximately 5.2 million people in need of humanitarian assistance. Concern for the vulnerable nation also intensifies due to the escalating gang violence and widespread hunger, all while approaching the beginning of hurricane season. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Ryuji Sasaki, reporting live from Japan. United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken will be traveling to China for conferences in the coming weeks, months after the original planned trip was canceled due to a suspected Chinese spy balloon that flew across the U.S. The visit is considered to be a major step in patching U.S.-China relations. Additionally, Daniel Quittenbrink, the State Department's official for East Asia, was in Beijing this week for discussions with Chinese counterparts, a visit seen as a step towards Blinken's expected trip. The U.S. State Department announced in May the delay in human rights-related sanctions on China in hopes of minimizing the damage to the U.S.-China relationship. Earlier this year, a Chinese-operated balloon flew over sensitive military sites in the U.S. airspace, causing more diplomatic crisis between the two countries, forcing a cancellation of the previously scheduled visit. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. Good evening.
Department of Health Secretary Dr. Ted Herbosa has stated that he will prioritize providing necessary benefits for healthcare workers in the country, acknowledging their efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic. Gladys Tawabi will tell us why.
As Dr. Ted Herbosa assumes his role as the appointed Department of Health Secretary, he emphasizes his commitment to prioritize providing benefits for healthcare workers. He acknowledges the efforts and dedication of the frontliners who have served the Filipino people during the COVID-19 pandemic. Given the significant number of healthcare workers who are working abroad to earn a living, he believes it is crucial to provide them with the necessary benefits.
It's about time we honor them kasi umaalis sila. They're getting jobs in other countries that's paying them higher. We need to solve this, no? Priority ko to. Kung benefits sila na hindi pa nabibigay na was supposed to have been given, I will try to make sure that our budget and management and the Department of Health be able to issue all of these things na hindi pa nabibigay.
Meanwhile, Secretary Herbosa highlights the need to address the increasing cases of tuberculosis, human immunodeficiency virus or HIV, teenage pregnancy and specialty hospitals in the country. He expresses gratitude for the trust and confidence placed in him to lead the agency.
Alam ko, it's a big task. The health is a big part of our national development, and I'm willing to take the challenge. I think I'm ready. Nagkaroon naman ako experience as undersecretary ng 5 years at from COVID. I was there in the front lines with Secretary Galvez trying to get everyone vaccinated.
He calls for the support of the Health Department in implementing the Universal Healthcare Law and ensuring access to healthcare services for all Filipinos. Gladys Tawabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Some local government units in Albay may not have sufficient funds to meet the needs of affected residents as they brace for possible eruption of Mayon Volcano. They are requesting fund augmentation and additional supplementary aid. Alan Malansala will tell us why.
Some local government units in Albay are preparing for the possible worsening effects of the abnormal activity displayed by Mayon Volcano. In the town of Ginubatan, the available funds will become inadequate if the volcano's status is raised to alert level 3. This would require the evacuation of thousands of families living near the 6-kilometer permanent danger zone and taking them to evacuation centers.
Sa ngayon, yung stocks natin dyan, as per budget natin, kaya pa naman siguro no ng mga 2 weeks or not sure. Pero po, nag-prepare nga tayo nitong assessment kasi para makikita po natin kung hanggang saan lang po talaga tayo.
According to the local disaster risk reduction and management officer, they are seeking additional supplementary aid.
Kaya tayo nagsabit na kaagad sa province kasi palagi naman po yan nag-augment ang province sa amin with regards sa stocks. So sa amin naman po dito sa LGU, we see to it na we have a MOA with the local supplier. So just in case na wala po kaming maibigay ngayong stocks or naubos na, pwede naman po kaming kumuha sa local suppliers.
Up to 1,000 families will need to be evacuated immediately when the alert status of the volcano is raised, including those residing near the river banks. LGU officials have also gone around to warn residents living along the river about the potential lahars as the province is currently experiencing continuous rainfall.
Merong nakadeposits na lahar sa taas. Kahit walang eruption, may tendency magka-lahar flow kahit umulan lang ng malakas.
According to the Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD Region 5, almost 64,000 family food packs are ready in the warehouse along with less than 53,000 non-food items including family kits, tents, and hygiene kits on standby. DSWD Bicol also has a 5 million peso fund ready for emergency response. Meanwhile, the latest bulletin issued by the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology or PHIVOLCS recorded only 2 volcanic earthquakes and 46 rockfall events, which is lower compared to the bulletin issued Tuesday, June 6. There were also no visible crater glow or flashes seen on the top of Mayon Volcano's crater, contrary to the photos spreading on social media. According to PHIVOLCS and their observation, the volcanic activity in Mount Mayon has decreased since yesterday. Alan Manansala, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the Global Prayer for Humanity from Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. Philippine time through the social media accounts of Members Church of God International.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verses 14 to 15, it says, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. And those are the reasons behind the news, June 7, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Harleen Delgado.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.